Hi, this is Omar at Top 5 E-Bikes, and today we're going to do a full review of the Ariel Rider Rideal. Our review will cover three main parts. First, we'll go over the specs of the Rideal. Second, we'll go over a test ride, which will include a battery drain test. And lastly, we're going to share our final thoughts of this $999 e-bike. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing to our channel if you enjoy e-bike related content. Alright, so now let's talk about the specs. The Rideal is produced by Ariel Rider. That's a brand that makes the X-Class and Grizzly, which are competitors to the Super 73. So these guys make some high performance e-bikes, and the Rideal, for its price and class, lives up to the Ariel name. Now let's talk about the details with this e-bike. It's $999, which today is a pretty crowded field in that price range. It comes with a 750 watt rear hub motor, a battery that's 48 volt, 14 amp hours, so it's a pretty good sized battery for its price range. It has an LED display, which is pretty simple, integrated headlight and rear light, which are not the norm in this price range, Tektro mechanical brakes, and there are two frame options. We ordered the mid-step. One other thing I'd say about the frame design is that it lets you know that the bike was designed with an e-bike in mind, with the controller integrated. It is a no frills e-bike, but the features of this e-bike are worth, $200 to $300 more. Now that you know more about the specs of this e-bike, let's talk about the test ride. Let me start off by talking about the top speed. Both Damon and I rode the Rideal, and I have some clips here where you can see that I was able to get it to 23 miles per hour, and this was on a level street. If I was going all out, I could actually get it up to 25, 26 miles per hour, but in general, I would say that 23 to 24 is going to be the max speed of this e-bike. The Rideal has a legitimate 750 watt motor. Let me repeat that, a legitimate 750 watt motor. With other brands, there's always people questioning the power of the motor since they seem weaker. This isn't the case with the Rideal. So if you're expecting a 750 watt motor with the Rideal, that's exactly what you're going to get. You can feel the power with any of the pedal assist levels or even with the throttle. Now let me talk about the comfort of this e-bike. The seat is very comfortable, especially for a sub $1,000 e-bike. Other similar e-bikes like the Rad Power Bike's Rad Mission have a terrible saddle, so this e-bike has a decent one, and one that I would say that you don't even need to replace. Since we're talking about the comfort of this e-bike, let's talk about the stem. With the standard stem that comes with the Rideal, the e-bike doesn't allow for like a full upright position, and you can see here in the video that Damon is riding almost upright, but you might have to be in a lower position when holding the handlebars. If you're looking for a more upright riding position, the easy way to do that would be to make a modification by adding a stem extender. So we've talked about the power of the Rideal and then also the comfort. Now let's talk about the battery. I did a battery range test where I rode with throttle only, and I was able to get 21 miles out of the battery. I think if I rode it on the lower levels of pedal assist, I could probably get 40 to 50 miles plus out of the battery. I'll link the video in the description in case you're interested, so you can check out that video. To close out the test ride portion of this review, I had to include this moment that I caught on video because I thought it was pretty cool. I did include this in the battery drain test, but I also thought that I should include it in this full review. During the battery drain test, I actually sped past 3 electric XPs. Now, I didn't include this to put down the electric XP or to make any comparisons to that particular bike per se, because it's not like this is a comparison video. Rather to show the performance of the Ariel Rider Rideal and how it stacks up against another $999 e-bike, which is electric XP. And in this case, we got a real life test without even trying to do so. So I thought it was great that when I was riding this particular day, I was able to capture this moment where I passed not one, not two, but actually 3 electric XPs while going uphill and throttle only. And you could see it in the video that the people that I was passing were pedaling. Although, again, we don't know too much about the electric XPs. We don't know what pedal assist level these people were going or how fast they were going. So now let's get on to the final thoughts on the Ariel Rideal. I'm going to start off with the 5 things that we liked. So our top 5 things that we liked. Then we'll get into the top 5 things that we didn't like. The first thing that we liked was the price. So at $999, this is a super affordable e-bike that provides quite a bit of value. And when I say value, it's because you have a 750 watt motor, and then the battery size, the 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. So both of those combined, I would say, give you a ton of value, and that's why the price to me is the top thing that I like out of this e-bike. The third thing we liked about this e-bike would be the that it's from Ariel Rider. So, I mean, talk about transparency with this brand. Arda, who is one of the co-founders and owners of the brand, will actually send out messages to clients, will go on message boards, has been part of YouTube videos where he does a Q&A talking about shipping delays. So I think it's worth noting that this brand is actually transparent with clients and that they're providing updates, and when there are delays, they're also letting you know why it's happening and when they expect the bikes to actually be shipped. So again, I think something worth noting and that we should add to the list, because I think it is a positive that this brand is being super transparent with clients. The fourth thing I liked about this bike is that it comes with gears. So other comparable bikes in this price range and class don't include gears, or some of them don't include gears. Now you're likely not going to be using gears, but it's kind of nice to have them. So if you're going uphill and you're going to end up using gears, or you run out of battery, the charge, then it's kind of nice to have the gears. So I think it's a really nice thing to note. Last thing that I really liked about this e-bike was the branding. So they did a really good job of just adding logos kind of throughout the e-bike. A lot of times when you're getting these e-bikes, especially like these lower end e-bikes that are around $1,000, there's very limited branding. So in some cases you even see serial numbers on the frame. That's not the case with this e-bike. So you see their logo kind of throughout. You see it on for example, the saddle and on parts of the frame. And I thought that it was really nice, a nice touch from a branding perspective. Let's talk about the top 5 things that we didn't like about this e-bike. I'll start off with number 1, which is that there is no pedal assist level 0, at least in the version that we received. And we have read reviews and seen video reviews where the brand has said that there are updated versions of the bike, or at least the newer versions of the bike, where you can see pedal assist level 0. At least the version that we got didn't have it, which means that when you would turn on the motor, you had to go pedal assist level 1. So again, it's big negative as we were riding, at least from bad experience, at least riding with that. The second thing that we didn't like were the stock handlebars, or at least the position of the stock handlebars. You kind of see it in the video that we're kind of slouching down a little bit, bending over. Not the most comfortable position, and I think because it's a commuter e-bike, then you would probably want to be a little bit more upright. I did mention earlier in the video in the test ride portion that you could get a stem extender and that would solve for it, but at least the stock version of the e-bike, the handlebars are not the greatest and they're not the most comfortable. The third thing we didn't like was the simplicity of the LCD screen, and it's something that you see with e-bikes that are in the similar price range. Like for example, the Rad Mission has the same type of LCD screen. I think the negative with that type of LCD screen is that there's no information provided for you, meaning that you don't know, there's no odometer, there's no speedometer. I think the speedometer is fine. The odometer is the one that's really nice to know how many miles you've traveled. So that I would say is a big negative, even though again, given the price range, it's something that's expected. What I don't know, and if you have any if you have any comments about this or thoughts, I don't know, or we don't know if you can upgrade that. I know with the Rad Mission, there's a lot of comments in message boards that you can upgrade it or you can't. Let us know if you're able to upgrade this particular LCD screen. The fourth thing we didn't like was that there's no suspension. So it's obviously a super rigid bike. Again, based on the price range, it's not like you would expect a suspension, and even if you had a suspension, it'd probably be a very low-end suspension. So a similar bike that's in the same price range, like the Electric XP, actually does come with the suspension. This particular one doesn't. The Rad Mission doesn't either. You wouldn't expect an e-bike in this price range of $1,000 to have a suspension, but did want to mention that is a pretty rigid bike. So if you expect to go through bumpy bumpy paved roads, or definitely not something that you wouldn't expect this e-bike to be used on trails. But did want to mention that there is no suspension, and that's definitely a negative from our perspective. And then the last thing, which this might be, a reach, and some of you might like this about the bike, but at least for us, one of the things that we didn't like was that we mentioned that the power was a positive, and in some respects it might even be a negative in the sense that it seemed like the bike was thrusty at times, especially in the lower pedal assist level, like pedal assist level 1. Like you could definitely feel the push. So again, you might think that that's a positive for you. We obviously mentioned the power as a whole of the motor as a positive, but we also think that it might be too much power in the lower levels of pedal assist. Now that we've given you the top 5 things that we like and the top things that we don't like, now let's give you the actual final thoughts and our final analysis on this e-bike. This e-bike, the Rideal, provides quite a bit of value for the price because you get a powerful motor, you get a really big battery for the price, and you have the option to customize this e-bike. So you can always add racks, and you can, like we were saying earlier, you could always customize the stem to make it a little bit more comfortable. And I think the other piece of this e-bike that's really great is that Ariel Rider produces badass bikes. So the Grizzly and those other bikes are super powerful, and if you read the reviews on them, people love them, and they actually do really well, and some people prefer those over the more expensive versions like the Super 73. And I think in this case with the Rideal, it's the same thing. There's other $999 bikes that are comparable, but I would say that this is a really good choice if you're looking for a bike with a big battery that has a powerful motor that's in this $1,000 range that you want as a commuter. So I would say that this, again, if you're looking for a commuter and you're going to mostly be riding on paved roads, then this is a really good bike. Let us know if you have any questions or comments, if you have any thoughts about this e-bike. Again, you can leave those comments on the video, and thank you for watching. And again, you should subscribe to our channel if you enjoy these type of videos. So thank you. If you enjoyed this review, please subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment. Visit us at top5ebikes.com or some of our social media accounts. Thank you.